Welcome, this is Mike Hamilton for Trade the Easy Way. You're looking at a weekly chart on the left and a daily chart on the right of the Dow index. And you can see with 40 minutes to go before the close on Tuesday that we are right at the bottom of this range. So we've got a sloping trend line across the top. And we had this resistance level at around about the 750 mark, and here we are at the 17,500 mark, big number. The market is basically getting very, very jittery with the prospect of a rate rise, and I think rate rises are closer than people will think, both in the US and the UK. We'll forget the UK for a moment, we'll come on to that in a moment. But what I'm looking at here is if we close around the 17,500 mark, I suspect we will. This is the Sunday open there, that's that little bar there, that's Sunday open. If we push into 640, 650 tomorrow, and then I get a sell signal around that area, I would short and then see if we come and visit the 200 EMA. Another scenario is we get the Fed day out of the way, we get a lot of sort of shaky moves, but we end up with a little bit of a hammer. We end up with a little bit of a hammer on this, the bottom of this range. Then I would expect us to come and test the top of the range and potentially even 18,000. And ideally, I would like to short. Obviously, the higher you short, the better the profit levels. Obviously, stands to reason. But so take it easy. If you didn't get involved in this short today, and there was a very, very nice setup which we teach in Scalper School, which worked a dream today. And if you didn't take that, but you took a 15-minute sell signal, you would have caught the bulk of this move, albeit later in the day, which is a bit late for you UK traders. Okay, so that's my plan. I would look for a sell signal at the 620, 640, 650 mark. Otherwise, I'll stand aside, see what the result is after the Fed minutes, and then see how the market wants to handle it. But on the face of it, we look as if we are coming down to 250, 300 at least. Okay, so let's look at the strength of the dollar and see how that translates in the rest of the market. This is the Euro US dollar, and if you look at the daily chart, you can see I've put this massive resistance level up here at 115. We are currently 113.20 and looking as if with topping tails as we come into this 20 EMA, looking as if we could just roll over. So next stop is 220, and then I think it's highly likely if we can break these lows, that is, if we can break 285, highly likely we're going to come and see the 200 EMA and lower. Okay, so, and that will give us a crossover in the 20 and 50 EMA, and then we'll start coming down to see the 50, then we'll start coming down to see the trend line, and if we break that trend line, then we are, in the second half of the year, we are definitely heading for at least 105. And when I was speaking at a conference in Eastern Europe in December, people were saying to me, I was asked the question, when are we going to get this parity? Well, I said, hang on a minute. I think the euro is going to surprise us, and sure enough, the euro did surprise us. Here we were when I was speaking. I think it's about the middle of it was the 20th of December, literally a few days before Christmas. I spoke. The euro was down here at this support here, so we dipped into January, and then all the dips got bought until we ended up here in the very, very early part of May. And so it's the second half of 2016 where I'm looking for dollar strength on the back of a rate rise. I'm just looking for that to sell into any kind of high 350, 370 area, and then start seeing these lower levels. Okay, so I believe that we are heading for a lot of dollar strength. The pound US is potentially neutral because I think the UK will follow fairly quickly, particularly if we vote to leave the European Union, which I sincerely hope we don't. I think we will see this drop quite hard, and in an emergency I think the Bank of England will raise rates pretty sharply, which is going to really mess the housing market up. So I think there's a lot at stake in this referendum vote. So it's a higher close. Let's face it, we had 2 days of higher closes in this, but all we are doing is hitting pivot levels, weekly pivot levels. Right, so I will still, my preference is to short the Euro US. I think that's a better daily chart. Any highs in that, particularly around the Fed minutes period, any runs into 350, 380, I will short to see if we can end up lower on the end of the day. This pound New Zealand, just to recap on the swing trade I've got going on this one, I'm just buying dips on this one. We saw a dip to 150 today, and we're currently 140. So that, this is a good method of handling a trade like this, which is taking a while to set up. I'm looking for this to come up to 216 plus, and eventually 220 and beyond. But it's taking time, so all I'm doing is I'm hedging and building a position. I think this is a great chart to do that. I'm looking for big profits in this one if this can get going. The reason being is I think New Zealand have got the highest rates in the developed world. There's a prospect of the Aussies reducing their rates, and I think that put tremendous pressure on New Zealand central bank to reduce rates, and I think that will create quite a blast to the upside potentially in this one. You don't need to fill your boots with this. I mean, if I'm right, then just buy dips, and you can see how this 21150 is a nice support area. If we can close above 215, then we're off to the races. And you can see we got 20 and 50 EMA cross here. Okay, so that's my idea for that one. And what else have we got? I'm going to leave it there. But let's look at the US dollar CAD, because I took some money out of this today. With the strength in the dollar, this nice move down, this is a hammer here on the 12th of May. All we've done is tested that today. So I'm looking for this to launch itself up to potentially 132 and beyond. Alright, so I'm looking for dollar strength, yen weakness. I took a little bit out of this US dollar yen today. Looking to see how we handle this 109. But potentially looking for this to return to this breakdown area, 11150, 40 area. Okay, so I hope that helps. Those are the levels I'm looking at. Those are the levels I would talk about in the room. If you would like to join us in the room, then let me know. And in the meantime, thank you for listening, and look forward to seeing you at the next update.